Since 2003, this is The Sports Source with your host, John Pennington.
The Sports Source is presented by Junk Be Gone, Pipe Wrench, and the Garza Law Firm.
The Sports Source starts now.
With about 7 seconds to go yesterday, I was sitting there thinking, man, this is just a carbon copy that Alabama gave for 2022. Not the way it played out, but it was a classic game. Welcome into the Sports Source. Happy to have you here in the Junk Be Gone studios along with us. We have a packed house, and we're going to talk to all those guys about the overtime loss, 44-41 to Georgia yesterday. And our big question, I mean, after the lead changes, big plays, ups, downs, comebacks, do you feel better about Tennessee after that, or do you feel worse about Tennessee after that? Obviously, that depends on where you went into that game from. But we'll cover a whole lot of aspects in this, whether we're buying or selling stock in Josh Heupel after this. Well, let's just get into it. Plus, we got a special guest. You might have heard of him. Name's Al Wilson. First segment of our show, brought to you by Junk Be Gone. Is your garage cluttered and full of junk? Is your attic running out of room? You have old furniture that just has to go? Maybe a shed out back that needs to be demolished and hauled away. Junk Be Gone can do all that and more. Fast and fairly priced. I use Junk Be Gone myself. Trust me, they are good, and you will like them if you use them. JunkBeGone.biz. All right, let's welcome in the panel for today. We're starting with an all VFL panel. I don't know if I've ever done this before. Right over there, Marlon Walls. Thanks for being here. My buddy Mike Stoll right here. Guest of honor, Al Wilson. We don't see you do media a whole lot. I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And right down there, I think you know that guy, Will Overstreet, the senior, the freshman, both off the 98 national championship team. Right. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. The Vols had chances to come away with yesterday's game with a streak-busting victory. Didn't happen, and we know that a missed 43-yard field goal was a big reason why. I don't think it was the only reason why, though. I know that everyone's going to point, especially guys that hate kickers. They're going to point at Max Gilbert. Right. But there were other opportunities to win that game. There were a lot of tackles that could have been made, a lot of plays that could have been broken, a lot of catches that could have been made, etc. Marlon Walls, I'm going to start with you. Let's start talking about the reasons Tennessee wasn't able to finish off that game and win it yesterday.
Well, John, I think you can go a number of reasons. You can go defensively. You can go to the fact that we're missing our two corners. But the one I'm going to go with is Star Thomas. Star Thomas, he looked like a different running back compared to the other guys, and that's no slight to the other guys. Right. But as far as when that guy touched the ball, he's elusive. He's finding holes, even those tight holes. He can squeeze through those, make another guy miss and get another 5. He only had 9 carries yesterday. I think that was a big difference in the football game. And every time he touched it, you saw a difference maker. Right. We went with him towards the end of the game, and then overtime we went back to Deshaun Bishop. I think that showed for us.
Yeah. It was one of the surprises of the game was to look down at halftime and see you'd only run for 40 yards. And we discussed this before the game. You were throwing it, which is great, but Josh Heupel's teams tend to do better when they're running for 200 yards. To look up and see 40 yards at halftime, that was surprising to me. Mike Stoll, reasons they lost.
Yeah, I think if you look at how Georgia schemed and realized they have a true freshman corner in Redmond, and no knock on him, but the guy had a tough day. Yeah. You go from last year playing in high school to this year playing in a big game at home. It's the first time you've ever played a big game, and they took advantage of him. And I think that's disappointing, not so much from his performance, but just from the fact that you hate to see that we didn't have the corners there that we could have. Yeah. That could have made the difference in the game right there. 1 or 2 plays, especially on the third downs.
I mean, you spent a lot of NIL dollars this year on Jermod McCoy and Ricky Gibson, and no, I'm not ripping them, but they weren't out there. Yeah. You're missing key pieces. Right. Al Wilson, reasons for that defeat yesterday.
Well, I kind of agree with Mike. Kirby Smart, he's a football coach, and he gets it. And he literally saw a freshman corner, and from the beginning of the game, he went at him, and he put some pressure on him. And that type of pressure is kind of what you see make or break young guys. Yeah. And he was really one of those guys that had a tough day, but I'm a big fan of his. I think he's going to be a great football player. But I think that was one of the big pieces that made us not get the W like we wanted to yesterday, for sure.
Well, I'd say all of you guys look back to a freshman year And we've talked about yours at Alabama,
yeah.
and Saban ran at you 3 straight times.
Power straight at me.
You've all had that freshman moment. And that was
Absolutely.
probably Ty Redmond's yesterday.
Yep.
Will Overstreet, reasons for the defeat.
Well, I just think there's too much on the edge. Like, if I looked at it, where did they try to do? They used scheme in a lot of different ways. They loaded up heavy. It didn't look like we adjusted at times to get to that. You know, T-Lander got beat off the edge a couple of times where he just didn't have the speed to catch the running back, and they got off to the edge. They threw some little slip passes out to the side where trips, and the tight end was on Boo Carter, turns him inside. A lot of this scheming and stuff was like, how do we get our guys on the edge? I thought they did a very good job, Mike Bobo did, of picking up some plays in the run game and on quick passes out to the edge where they had better matchups. They had guys on the right guys that they wanted at the time to either get the blocks. They would move Aaron Carter out when they saw they were a man. They'd motion a guy out. He would leave, and all of a sudden they'd have numbers. So I thought a little bit of we got a little bit out schemed and a little bit out of place with their formations and what they were doing. And it's probably they put in a bunch of new stuff that we hadn't seen on tape. So I think they did that was part of the reason they won, and part of the reason they had, you know, they were 8 of 17 on third down and 2 of 2 on fourth down, right? So those are the things that kept them on the field and kept drives alive, and that's where you got beat.
I want to roll into something you said there, but there were also some specific areas. I thought and we'll get into this a little bit later, failing to cash in after the strip sack in the fourth quarter, where you go conservative. We'll talk about that, and you wind up kicking a field goal. Failed to stop Georgia on the touchdown drive, and then the 2-point conversion where they were absolutely just wide open. And your offense went silent in the middle third of the game. And I'm going to leave that hanging there for a second, tie this back together, because I want to get into Joey Aguilar. I want to spend the rest of this segment on Aguilar. Let's take a look at his numbers yesterday, okay? It was a wild ride, but the guy's clearly ready for the big time. Best quarter by an SEC quarterback in 20 years, and he did it against a Kirby Smart defense. 14 of 14 for 213 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions in that first quarter. Then the middle third of the game, 3 of 11, 26 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's inaccurate. And to start with, you're getting yak for the first time since Hendon Hooker was here because of the ball placement. He's hitting receivers and leading them. Then that kind of went away, and this gets back to the scheming and the Kirby Smart thing that Will was talking about. After the game, Aguilar said, yeah, they gave us some different looks there after the start, and I had to do a better job of catching up with it. I love the fact this kid puts the blame on himself, even when it doesn't belong there. Then after that, they overcome it. 7 of 11 to finish, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Guys, if you told me Joey Aguilar would go 24 of 36 for 371 yards, 4 touchdowns through the air, another one on the ground, 2 INTs, I'd have thought Tennessee won that game. I'd have taken that all day and all night. Your thoughts on Joey Aguilar and his performance?
I would say that the biggest thing I noticed was in that middle half where we kind of sloped off, tempo, man, tempo. This kid did a great job of maneuvering the tempo. It looked like he was on top of his game. He was quicker. He was accurate. We found our mismatches versus Georgia, and then we slowed the ball game down, and then you saw it kind of like it fell off. We see the 2 interceptions. We're not as accurate with the football. Kirby Smart get a chance again. He's a football coach. You got to give him that credit. He's able to make his adjustment, get his guys on the field, lined up where they're supposed to. I think up tempo, we saw the best Joey Aguilar, and then when we slowed it down, they kind of figured us out, and then we ramped it back up again. So I think the biggest thing was the kid played outstanding, but you've got to keep the tempo going.
Yeah, for some reason, everybody says, well, it's got to be after a first down or a big play. There were times in that first half, those first 3 drives, where you didn't get a big first down. It's 2nd and 8, and you still stayed fast. Yeah. I don't understand why this team decides to leave that tempo from time to time.
I think a lot of it has to do with what was happening to the defense, right? Georgia's going on long, sustained drives. They had a 10-play drive, a 12-play drive. Those long drives where your defense out. If you go tempo and you're 3 and out, they're back on the field.
Especially to start the second half. I get that.
Yeah, I think things can run away with you. I agree with the tempo piece 100%. Dude is playing amazing. I think the other thing that I really take a lot out of this, because of what he's gone through, and because of his journey, and because of how he faced what he did against Georgia, I feel good about him going on the road. I feel good about him the rest of the season because he has shown himself to be a ball player, to be somebody that says, you know what, I'm not going to be phased, I'm not going to be knocked down, I'm going to keep coming back. I love that about him as a fighter.
Your guys' thought on Joey Aguilar?
Loved him. One of those interceptions obviously wasn't his fault. The receiver slipped. So you got to take that away from it. But he looks like he's been in our system for years. He looks comfortable. You can tell he's played a lot of football. And at that position, he has that mentality that I love, that even keel mentality. Not get too high when you win, not get too low when you lose, but stay pretty even keel. And those things are what's going to help us take us to the next level as a Tennessee football team. He's going to be the guy that's going to be the difference maker for us. Going forward, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do.
What I expected, Will, when I looked at a guy who had 56 touchdowns and 24 interceptions, I figured you'd get the first 2/3 of that game yesterday, where you'd have ups and you'd have downs. What I didn't anticipate and didn't know and had no way of knowing, that you can have a streak of down and he's tough enough and mentally right enough to come back and turn it back on and get it going again.
Right.
That last third to me was the most impressive part of his day.
I totally agree with that. And I think the biggest thing that comes out, you can look at those first 2 games we played this year and you can go, is this fool's gold, right? Is this, hey, I'm seeing this against bad competition. I'm not really expecting this. What happens when you play top-tier defenses? Does it all come to light and go, yeah, on air, basically, we can do really good. But when you play a top-tier defense, I think he proved to everybody in the SEC last night, hey, this guy is a force to be reckoned with. He is that good, and so you have to prepare for him and be ready for him. But I think that was the biggest thing coming out was he proved himself as not just, hey, I can do this against cupcakes, but I have the ability to do this against really good talent.
Right.
And we're once again left asking, why is it that Josh Heupel's history suggests he's better with the 3-star quarterback than he is a 5-star quarterback? Milton had all the tools in the world. Nico was a 5-star guy. You go back, Dylan Gabriel. It's the guys who are the underdogs. And I don't know that that's just relating to them. I don't know that he runs the offense differently, but there's no denying it at this point. And it concerns you that you've got a 5-star coming in next year.
Well, there's also, was the 5-star correctly rated on a couple of people?
Well, there's part of that too. Yeah, obviously.
Right.
Good thing Ryan Callahan isn't here. All right. When we come back, let's dive into a couple of Josh Heupel coaching decisions. We're going to do it was a close loss. We're going to do some second guessing. Let's talk about what Tennessee did after that strip sack. Let's talk about what they should have done, or did they get it right at the end, right before that field goal? Should they have run another play? We'll discuss all that next. Come on back on the Sports Source.
Not always what you want to hear, but exactly what you need to hear. This is the Sports Source.
Well, heck, now I want some hard-hitting tea after watching that last ad. All right.
I like it.
This segment brought to you by A.G. Hines Company. You know what it takes for a business to last 105 years? It takes a family that is committed to helping their customers, and that is what A.G. Hines Company has always been. It's what they are now. Gordon Hines, his kids, going all the way back to his granddaddy. A.G. Hines Company has the best building materials anywhere in East Tennessee at great prices, and they're also really, really good people. If you've got a project and you've got questions about it, these are the people that can not only get you the right stuff, the right tools, the right materials, they can tell you the right way to use them all. aghines.com to learn more. Check them out on Hines Street, downtown Knoxville. All right, let's welcome in the next round of panelists. Sterling Hinton, VFL right there. We got Sunshine Sterling.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy Himes back with us right here. Jimmy, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Right down there, Bob Hodge. Thank you.
Nobody ever calls me Sunshine.
Sunshine Bobby. And we're not going to let Al off the set today. So I do want to get to our poll question. We're going to be talking about this amongst ourselves here in a segment or two. How do you feel about this team after yesterday? It's a loss. And some people have already been online. 70% of you say better, they should have won. In the middle, you've got about the same. Nobody's saying that. 30% of you say, I feel worse. They blew it. All right, you tell us. Take that smartphone of yours and click the QR code, get a little photo there, underneath the Hearthside Bank logo. Tell us what you think. I love following that little orange line, and it's always fun to see what the fans are thinking. It may be the same as us, may be different from us, and as always, I'll try and devil's advocate you into voting one way or the other, whichever way you're going. All right, better, same, or worse. All right, 2 questions for each pair here. We call this cover 2. Bob and Al, I got a question for you. 8:21 to go in the fourth quarter. Vols lead 35-30. Joshua Joseph strips Gunnar Stockton. Bryson Eason recovers. Vols take over at Georgia's 34-yard line. False start on Sam Pendleton. So you got 1st and 15, and then a run on 1st and 15, a run on 2nd and 12, a run on 3rd and 8. Was Josh Heupel too conservative in playing for a field goal there?
Can I say hell yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
guess
Hell
you
yeah,
did.
it was too conservative.
No, you can't say that.
Dang FCC.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because there's a theory out there that when you get a turnover on the other team's plus side, plus your offense has been cooking really well in the fourth quarter, the defense is kind of on its heels. They're let down because their offense gave the ball up, that you really attack it. And so even with the penalty, okay, fine, you lost 5 yards, you can still go ahead and attack it. So I thought it was not just a little conservative, I thought it was way too conservative when you've got a defense that's sort of been reeling in that quarter anyway. And I wonder if part of the thinking was on the coaching staff, hey, if we get the field goal, we're up by 8, and that gives us a nice cushion. They can't come back and take the lead. But yes, way too conservative, I thought.
What do you think, Al?
Well, to be honest with you, defensively, I'm thinking they're going to take a shot. So maybe Josh was thinking, hey, they're thinking the way a defender would be thinking.
Right.
Because I'm already looking for them to go to the end zone. So maybe if I catch them off guard and run 3 straight plays, maybe we can get a first down and keep the ball moving and keep this drive going. So you really don't know exactly what Josh was thinking, but at the same time, I can see why we did run the ball 3 times, because defensively, I'm absolutely thinking, telling my corners, hey, deep ball's coming, so be alert.
Here's what I'm thinking. Georgia thought you were going to take a shot. So then Tennessee says they don't think, we're not going to take a shot.
So I thought
Georgia starts thinking. So then you take
You should
a
have
shot
thought.
because you
The thing with Heupel after the game, he talked about the fact that getting behind the chain changed a little bit. He said that they had bracket coverage on his guys. It's like, okay, you don't have anything to compete against that. But also, he made the comment that we were ready to go on 4th down and be aggressive there, but we got stuffed on that 3rd down. And on the television broadcast, he got caught saying a lot worse than hell after that play got stuffed. So I'm sure he was disappointed there, but I thought it was way too conservative. So it looked like they immediately just said, all right, let's settle for the field goal here.
And an 8-point lead's not a bad thing at that
Not
point.
at all.
either.
Not at all.
All right, question number 2 for you guys. Let's do a second guess on this one. 7 seconds to play in the game. Ball at the Georgia 20. Sham Umarov called for a false start. UT could have run another play there. And Josh Heupel said they thought about trying to get it back to the middle of the field, but he just didn't want to lose any more yardage, didn't want to risk it at that point. So they kind of bring Max Gilbert out. He misses. Should Tennessee have run one more play to even just calm the nerves of the kicker that, okay, no, we're back on schedule here. We got it. Or to get extra yards, or to get it in the middle of the field. Should they have run another play, or did you like the way they handled it?
I asked Josh Heupel after the game, did you want to set it up somewhat on the left hash mark? Because a lot of kickers are better from that side. And I'm not really sure what his answer was, except he indicated yes. So I think he was okay with being on that hash mark. I would have run another play trying to center a little bit better, but if your kicker says I'm better from this hash mark, then I go with that.
Maybe that's what he said in the Vol Network, but I read the comment last night where he said we thought about trying to get to that.
Yeah, my direct answer to my question, could have been different, but that's...
Well, that's one, they answer one thing in the media and one thing in the coaches show, so that might have been where I saw it.
That is true. So, but I would have run another play. I don't have a big issue with that. I don't think the 5 yards made a difference unless it mentally affected your kicker, and I don't know the answer to that.
Right.
It was a pretty bad kick.
It was. So if you were 5
you don't
yards
know.
further back, I mean, you'd been 5 yards closer, he still misses that.
Yeah.
So the yardage wasn't the factor. To me, it might have been the mentality.
Or the
Or the positioning.
Yes, agreed. Sterling, should
I
they
would
run
have
another
not
play?
run another play. I would have not run another play. I would have got that penalty, and I would have got my kick out there even faster than what he got them out there yesterday. I think they thought about running another play. He had to ran the kicking team out there as soon as the penalty was called. Got to have some type of movement with your team. And my kicker was ready to do this as soon as they got to in his range. So he's been waiting about 10 minutes, actual time, with all those timeouts that happened. So I would have got him out there right away. I think Coach made the great call by not running another play. That hash mark with that right foot kicker, they love it there. He just missed it. Came right back in overtime, made the exact same kick.
Right. And
let's go.
We talked about when they got to he had a 48-yarder on that one, or or that series looks really bad. If you run 3 times and then miss a 48-yarder. But he hit that one. And he hit the one when he came back, but he missed the one that and he's kicking himself, you know that.
So is Mike Stoll's kicking him.
Mike Stoll's kicking him. Mike Stoll would kick any kicker to win or lose. Mike's just not a kicker guy. All right, let's take a look at the poll right there. Woo, 85% say they feel better about Tennessee after yesterday. 3% say about the same. Only 12% say they feel worse.
Bring him back to the middle, John.
What are you talking about?
That's sunshine numbers right there.
Everybody here's second guessing the coach. What are you doing there? 12%. All right, keep clicking. I want to know what you're thinking. All right, when we come back, you're playing at home, and now we're going to join in with the same question. Do we feel better or worse about this team after yesterday's loss? I don't want to be Mr. Silver Linings. What's going on this show? So we'll play along with you, and we'll tell you what we think. Better or worse? That's next on the Sports Source. Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Elkmont Station. It's just an always evolving menu, handcrafted food, completely unique cocktail recipes. The atmosphere is really special. It's warm, it's inviting, it feels like East Tennessee. When you go to Elkmont Station, you are going to be very happy, whether you're going there for pregame, whether you're going there for postgame, you may be going there for date night, you may be going there for a business lunch. Whatever the reason, Elkmont Station is a great place to head this week. Check it out, elkmontstationknox.com to learn more. All right, each week we track the Heupel keys. Didn't hit a lot of the keys yesterday. Score 30 or more points and win. Well, score 30 or more points. They did that, but they lost, so 35-3 now. So they'd only lost 2 games previously when they had scored 30, and only lost 2 of those. Now they've lost a third. Rush for 177 yards or more, didn't do it. Rush for 3 TDs or more, didn't do it. Complete 65% of their passes or better, did that. Allow 27, but still lost, so 22-5 in that category now. Allow 27 or fewer points, no. Allow 99 or fewer rush yards, no. 349 or fewer total yards, no. Commit 8 or fewer penalties, no. So when you looked at the keys, you probably would have projected a loss. Okay, let's welcome in the next 2 members of our panel. Right over here, Chuck Cavalaris back with us again.
Yes, sir.
We all await the Cavalaris line. And to see how the casino took last week. Ooh, a beating. And right over here, Josh Ward. Josh, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, Tennessee could have won yesterday's game, could have put themselves in a great position to earn a playoff berth. You know, they could have been in a spot where you got 9 games to go and you could still lose 2 games because you had that Georgia win. That was possible. Now you probably only have 1 game to really play with. You may be able to get in at 9-3, but that would be very difficult. Do you feel better or worse about the team? I'm not saying, I felt great. That was a fun loss. What I'm saying is, how do you feel about this team? Better or worse about what it's got, its makeup moving forward? Josh Ward.
The team, I feel better. Seeing them play that way against Georgia, there's some defensive questions. Some of those maybe can be answered with personnel getting back healthy, especially on the interior of the defensive line. But, Chuck, the reasons I would say that I feel better is in the preseason in August, at the start of the season, my biggest questions are probably quarterback play. What are you getting with Joey Aguilar coming in? And a young wide receiver group. Well, Chris Brazzell goes out and makes 3 touchdown catches and has the best game he's had as a Vol. Braylon Staley has a nice performance, cover what Joey Aguilar did. And then also, we have seen – once Tennessee has a good start, and then the other team, Kirby Smart, Alabama in 2023, when the other team adjusts, Tennessee didn't have a counterpunch to come back with. In the second half against Georgia, for the first time with Josh Heupel against Kirby Smart, they answered back, and that's something to build on as well.
I wish I felt better, but right now I don't think I do. And I don't know if it's just getting healthy on defense. I know that's part of it. But that drive when Georgia had, 14 plays, 13 rushes?
Mm-hmm. So the first one in the second half, I think it was.
Right. I mean, I don't know if you're healthy when we had our concerns about defensive line depth to start with. If that fixes that, and I've said, losing McCoy and not having Will Brooks back there, I think that it's just some things there that I don't know if what you're trying is going to work enough. It's just a feeling that, you've got people out hurt, but it just feels like there's some easy plays like that wide receiver, the screen, where you had three receivers, three guys blocking three defensive players. Too easy, right? Yeah. So, no, I mean, I feel a little worse because last year the defense kept you in game after game after game.
So, Chuck, we'll move that to 13%. All right, so we got one better, one worse. How do you guys feel? Mike Stahl, I'll start with you and get to Al last.
Well,
better or worse?
I was feeling good, but I'm sitting in Will Overstreet's chair, and so it's like I can just feel the negative
rain
vibes bringing me down. Actually, I feel pretty good, and Chuck, I can see and understand your concerns, but here's the thing. Offensively, we're able to move the football. Offensively, we're able to score. So can your defense give up 24 points and you still – I feel confident that they can. So I'm a little bit more optimistic just because of what goes on. However, we still don't know what everybody else is. We don't know, is Vanderbilt really good? Well, they beat Virginia Tech. Well, Virginia Tech got throttled by Old Dominion. There's still a lot of football that needs to be handed out before you know where you're at. But against Georgia, I think we're better. But how good is Georgia? How good is the rest of the SEC?
I would say, though, I think that Georgia's probably the best team in the SEC. I don't know that
one of
maybe
the best.
Texas, but I mean,
One of the
I don't
best.
know who's better than Georgia at this point. I don't know that I would point to anyone and say, oh, yeah, Oklahoma, I'm buying in there is good or better than Georgia. At this point, so to me, it almost says you're now able – you'd taken Alabama 2 out of 3. You'd taken Florida 2 out of 3.
Right.
This is the first time you went toe-to-toe with Georgia. Into the fourth quarter, that you're running on them at the end. So I feel a little bit better because I now feel, yeah, you got to win them all. I get it.
Right.
But you're competing with anybody in the country now. I don't know that I would put you out. Maybe Ohio State last year might be the last one that you've still got to knock that table down, get them back to the playoff and find Ohio State again. But other than that, you're competing with everybody, I think. So I feel a little bit better. Al Wilson, do you feel better or worse?
I feel better. I'm encouraged by what I saw.
Yeah, Chuck.
You know, at the end of the day, a few plays here and there, we're having a different conversation this morning. Sure. We win that ball game. So I definitely feel great. And they should understand, these young men should know that they have a good football team. They can play with anybody in the country. And with the quarterback play, the receivers starting to step up, obviously we need to get healthy on defense. We need those corners to get back. We need a little more depth, maybe up front. But for the most part, we're a good football team, and we can compete with anyone.
I also think, and not to disagree with your point, I get what you, and I think a lot of people are looking at it, but I said this a few years ago when Tennessee beat Alabama 52-49. We're in a new era of college football where, well, we gave up 49 to Alabama. Yeah, well, they gave up 52. Yesterday against Georgia, Kirby Smart gave up 41. Right. Yeah. You're not going to have a defense that just grinds people down to 20 points and less for 12 games anymore. I don't think. So I'm not as panicked about it, but I certainly understand it was not a defensive performance that you put in the trophy case, but at the same time, I thought they made enough plays to keep you in it at times. When your offense went south, there was one drive, you had a turnover, you had a pick, they held them to 3 and out, kept you in it. I don't feel panicked about it. Well, I'll give you the final word.
And it is just a little bit, and I understand what everybody's saying.
It's all right,
but
don't back off.
Right. No, I'm not backing off. It's just I would like to – is there some kind of adjustment? Is there something else you can do where receivers are not running wide open in secondary so much to me, too?
But just how much of that was attacked? I guess that's the way it is now. Right. So. Okay, good deal. When we come back, Vols had some pretty important players out. Let's carry this over. Did yesterday prove that the next man up line that everybody throws out there is false? We'll discuss whether that's a mentality or a reality. And would Tennessee have won yesterday if they'd had 4 guys in the defensive tackle spot, at the cornerback spot? If they'd had them out there, would they have won? Let's discuss. Come on back. Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. You know, fall is here, and that means the fall invaders are coming right behind them. I've told you for years, I do the fall invader treatment from Southeast Termite and Pest Control because it works. I don't have anything against ladybugs unless there are 10,000 of them on my windowsill. Then I have a lot against ladybugs. I prevent that by getting the fall invader treatment from Southeast Termite. Also stink bugs, also box elder bugs. Nobody wants bugs in your house. What weirdo would say maybe a kicker, right, Mike? Nobody would want bugs in their house. Southeast Termite and Pest Control, they've protected my home for years. They could do the same for you, I promise. All right, let's take a look at the poll question again. I cannot get over this. All right, feeling better, 84% of you. 5% say about the same. 11%, including Chuck, say worse. They blew it.
Will Overstreet hasn't voted yet, so that's why it's skewed. Like
I'm waiting for my opinion to be moved one way or the other.
All right, so Tennessee's defense was run over at times, but at the same time, they were missing Devin Hobbs and Jackson Moy. Gunnar Stockton had his best day, 304 yards passing, threw a perfect dime on that fourth. I mean, Deion Sanders couldn't have broken that up. That was he'll never throw another pass that beautiful in his life. But the way they threw him, it was almost like Jermod McCoy and Ricky Gibson weren't out there. All your big NIL guys weren't out there. So I just wondered, do you believe Tennessee would have won this game if they had, let's just pick one, if you'd had both your corners or if you'd had both your defensive tackles? I know that's ifs and buts and candy and nuts. Merry Christmas and be. Yeah. But do you think Tennessee would have had a better shot if those guys had been in there, Mike?
I mean, I think so, right? And I think what we saw with Redmond and how he was, I mean, first play, boom. Right. I'm going to go challenge the true freshman and see what happens.
They got a PI on him.
Yeah, and I mean, they went after him time after time, and then they said, okay, if we need a play, that's our guy we're going after. So, yes, I think it would have made a difference. You can't go back and say, well, we'd have won the game. I mean, could we? Yes. But it was difficult for us not to have him in. And, he learned a big lesson. It's like, welcome, young man, to the SEC and big-time football. It's a tough challenge.
Marlon, a lot of guys were out there, but you still look pretty good on defense. Do you think that could have made a difference having those guys in there, or is that an excuse?
Well, I'm going to say this. We know from the last couple of years, Coach G likes that hockey lineup. Well, I'm rolling a whole new defensive line in to come help out and keep those guys fresh. Dominique Bailey and Bryson Easton played a lot of snaps yesterday. And I saw those cats on the sideline. You know, they stayed motivated. But that's a lot of snaps for those two guys, especially in a ball game when we're going back and forth, where you got 41 points, 44 points scored in a game. So I would definitely say, man, that interior depth, we needed it. Not having Moy out there, it hurt us for sure. But I would say, man, yes, you put those guys back in there, you get that depth right on the defensive line, I think we have a different ball game. And, of course, on the corner side, Ty Redmond, man, that was a heck of a ball game for him to be thrown into. It's a hard challenge. He's going to learn from it. He's going to get better as a football player from that game. But McCoy is your guy. You're talking about a top 10 guy that's about being drafted in the NFL draft coming up. That's definitely a difference maker on your defense.
Georgia also missing some guys. I mean, at right tackle, it was a mess for them all day. I just think, and Will, there's this belief. A lot of people say, well, next man up. Well, if that were always the case, you wouldn't have a depth chart. You just, draw straws to see who starts. There's a reason this guy's starter, this guy's backup, this guy's third string. Kevin Simon said to me last year, we were talking about this, and he put it much more succinctly than I ever could, and that was simply, next man up is a great mentality. It is not a reality. And I thought yesterday was an example of, you want to just say next man up, and I know the coaches say that, but I didn't think you could next man up when you got 4 starters who were out yesterday on your defense.
Well, I look at it more like with the transfer portal and NIL, your roster, even though you have more numbers, it's still more like an NFL roster in the sense of, you used to have, when Al and I played, you'd have guys that were really talented in second and third string at times that could have good plays and things like that. I think now what you're dealing with, you lose those talented guys. You don't have as much depth. So it's more like an NFL roster in the sense of, I really got about 50 guys that can play, but if I lose one of those guys, it's not always that step up next guy that, hey, this guy can come in and maybe he's just a little bit behind the second string guy, the first string guy. Right now, you're putting money into guys for a reason. You're putting lots of money on a guy because he's clearly a dominant player, all SEC player, all American player. And when I have to say that guy's out and I've got this guy, guess what? It's not there. It's not the same guy. It's just like in the NFL. If you lose a Pro Bowl player, the guy coming in behind him, you're going, hey, we're going to have to scheme around this and figure stuff around because you lost a Pro Bowl player. If you lose corners like you lost that you put a lot of money into, it's a problem for you. So there are spots where that's problematic, where you don't have depth like you used to be able to fill out and put a guy in.
Al?
Yeah, we have those two corners, Gibson and McCoy. There's no question. They make plays that will be made by good football players. They put Redmond on the spot yesterday. That's a tough situation to be in the SEC against Georgia, against a high-powered offense, against a great coaching staff that knows how to scheme. And they understand how to get things done over there. Like we talked about, they understand how to finish. And to be able to finish, you have to be able to know and see exactly what the weak link is in that defense on that particular day. And yesterday, they knew Redmond was the weakest link. And like I said, I'm a fan of his. I think he's going to be a great football player. He's long, he's talented, but it's just a tough situation to be in. And McCoy and Gibson, those guys are great football players. And when you're starters in the SEC, there's a reason that you're All-American, preseason All-American, potential high draft pick. Those things make a big difference because when you have good football players, they can make plays that schemes have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Especially from the linebacker position. Sometimes linebackers can clean up a mess that happens,
right.
That wasn't in the scheme. And for me, that's what it was all about. We just didn't make enough plays defensively to get where we needed to. But when we have that depth and we have those guys up front, get everybody back, the corners, the guys up front, we will be a good football team on the defensive side, no question.
I think over 23 years, people realize I don't make a lot of excuses for Tennessee when they lost, but when you've got that many important players down, good players down at those positions, and then it shows up on the field the next time, I don't think that's excuse making. I think that's just pointing out a reality. Marlon, I want you to close this because we were talking going into this break. You made a comment about what may be going on in the defensive coaching rooms today.
Yeah, so today when they show up today, what they're going to see is we lost a ball game 44-41 to a high-powered offense, one of the teams that's being picked to win a national championship. What's going to get you as a defense is when the coach shows you your corrections. Hey, man, we was wrong on this play. Hey, we wasn't not fit on this play. Hey, we wasn't in phase on this route right here, or we misjudged something. And that's going to piss you off as a defense, and that's going to make them better going forward because now they know that team, we should have beat them. And if I do my job and I make sure I don't get beat on this play again, all right, we're going to be better as a defense moving forward. So that's definitely a correction they're going to make, and they're going to be excited about that one going forward.
Well, it does seem that nationally much of the storyline that I've read has been not so much Tennessee blew that as, boy, these are both playoff level teams. Right. So I think you came out of that from a national perspective. People are liking it. You've only got a couple more minutes to vote there. It's down to 82%. Feel better. So what are we going to finish up with? Are you going Team Chuck? Chuck, you need to go rally some people, make some calls to the polls here at the end.
Vote for Chuck.
There you go. Vote for Chuck at 13%. Okay. When we come back, it's time to talk about the best players and the worst players on the field yesterday for the Vols. That means Team Sunshine versus Team Rain Cloud. Come on back for 3 Up, 3 Down. Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Customer service, huge selection of boats, prices you can't beat. Since 1976, people have been driving from all over the region to get to Madisonville Marine, and it's right in your backyard. You can also visit madmarine.com, but I say get down there and see the showroom for yourself. There is no better place to buy a boat. All right.
Sunshine Sterling. Willie Rain Cloud. It's time for 3 Up, 3 Down. This is the Sports Source.
All right, Sunshine, Rain Cloud, we got them both right here. Let's take a look at the final poll results if we can. I think we've got there we go. Better should have won. 82% of you feel better about this team. And about, what does that say? I can't
13.
read it. 13 say worse, and whatever is in between.
5.
So 5%, 5% say about the same. That surprises me. As a matter of fact, when I was building this show last night, and I talked to you, I'm like, I think everybody's going to think, what is wrong with Pennington? Why is he suddenly positive? But everybody but Chuck and 13% of the other rest of Knoxville look at it.
It's slightly.
Feel a little worse about it, and that's fine.
Chuck ought to be sitting over here.
We should have flipped them today. All right. Chuck and Sterling, let's go through the Doves, and we'll get to the Vultures in a minute. 3 best players for Tennessee yesterday. Who are your 3 of?
Number 1, as bright as the sun was at Neyland Stadium yesterday, everybody putting on sunblock, the sunshine still goes on. Joey Aguilar. 14 for 14 in the first quarter against a Kirby Smart defense. Dropping dimes, giving you 9 cents change, baby. I like it, baby. Joey was rolling, and I'm excited about this guy's future. And one thing I've noticed about his maturity moving in the pocket yesterday. We talked about it a week before. Stoll made a comment about, trying to get things done faster out of his hands. He did that yesterday, and he did it against great competition. So I'm excited about this guy's future. Joey Aguilar, number 1.
Again, it's the fact that when they gave him something different and the accuracy went away, I'm thinking, okay, here we go. This is it. And then he comes through that. To me, that was very impressive, getting over that one.
Boy,
Chuck, who's the number 2 up?
The explosive plays back. We've talked about it, right? Chris Brazel.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the beneficiary of Joey Aguilar. 6 catches, a career best 3 touchdowns, 177 yards. The average is 29.5. Being not negative, but just wish there could have been a couple more catches in the second half.
Man, you on Team Sunshine, man. You don't put an umbrella on the sun.
No, I was just kidding.
The peer pressure is getting to you. I want to look. Chris Brazel, I have questioned all offseason because he dropped too many passes last year. In the last 2 games, he's got 300 yards, more than 300 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. And you can say, well, part of that was ETSU. Yeah, but the other part was Georgia. Yeah. So take to average that out, that's pretty doggone good. Applause to Chris Brazel because 2 of those touchdowns, one was a slightly overthrown ball that the defender bats, and he's got the concentration to catch the thing. Yes. Right. The other one was slightly underthrown. And they were good touchdown passes, but slightly underthrown.
Good 50 balls.
Yeah, defender comes back over, and he's still got the concentration to catch it and break. He had a heck of a game yesterday.
Yes, sir. I'm proud of that young man. He showed toughness.
Who's the 3 up?
3 and number 7. Gerard Mayer was there yesterday as being honored as VFL, and he showed up for his grandfather that was number 7 back in the day. That daggone Carter, baby.
Yeah, Aaron Carter.
Let me tell you something. He made some plays yesterday, I believe, had he not been in his position, could have gone to the house. And because he was there making the play when his number was called, we stayed in that game and defense showed up to me.
I looked last night, Chuck, and ESPN and UT sometimes have different numbers, but I looked at ESPN last night and had him down for 14 tackles, regardless of whatever the final was. He was all over the
He
field.
was everywhere. I had him at 17, but I just was live.
Because you're sitting over there.
That's right, giving him more, baby.
He was making so many plays, it was hard to keep. I think they missed a couple of tackles he had because he was making so many.
3rd down for what? Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, we are over, so we got to be fast with the negatives.
Oh, wow.
But no, you do your thing. You do your thing. All right, who's?
I think we've mentioned him a couple times. Freshman in this game, Ty Redmond, obviously.
That's your number 1 down?
That's the number 1 down. Yeah.
Number 1 down. Okay.
Number 1 down.
Wow.
Yeah. I just think that was too much they could rely on. Too many 3rd downs, too many big plays when they needed. Georgia had it in their bag. We're going there.
And here's a kid came in this year, didn't expect to be a starter against Georgia. He was going to be your 4th DB, so you cut him a little bit of slack. See, now I'm being nice.
Yeah, why don't we flip you two? Yeah. So, all right.
So
that
then
was
number
1 down.
2. We're saving. Maybe we did this in reverse order, but Sean Umrah, you can't get a procedure penalty when you're lining up to kick the game-winning field goal. I'm going to use the Mike Stoll line. You'd rather die at birth than get a procedure penalty. And that one, to me, we'll never know because we're not in Max Gilbert's head. But did that set off a chain of events that just led to that field goal being missed? And
now, when I put this on YouTube, I'll be banned for that comment. All right, so what's number 3? We got the 3 down. Yeah. I think most people would have put this as the number 1 down, but all right.
Well, Max Gilbert. Obviously, the kicker. Yeah. We're talking about this in an entirely different light. Kicker goes out there, makes the kick, very makeable kick. Then you're talking about a whole different game, a different conversation. Today is not the same. You didn't let down. You got the monkey off your back. All those things because of a kicker. So at the end of the day, the guy that missed it, you have one job. You got to make it.
And I would not want that job. That is a thankless job. That I would not want that job. Wouldn't want to be. Whole thing comes down to you. 100,000 people thinking this is easy, you moron. Hit the thing. Yeah. That's tough.
That's first career.
And then you got Mike Stoll throwing cans. And stuff at you.
But you know what, John?
Who takes lettuce to a football game? Mike Stoll.
In defense of Ty Redmond, It was 5 years ago, maybe more than that. When we first started as 3 up, 3 down. It was a cornerback who was now starting for the New Orleans Saints, who had a bad true freshman year against Florida. And I think Ty Redmond is going to be a guy like that, second to first round draft choice when it's time to go to the draft.
Okay, we are miles over, so we got to speed up. When we come back, let's talk about Tennessee's remaining schedule. What are the 5 remaining games that are the toughest on that schedule? Also, yeah, let's look at Nico. Come on back. Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Hearthside Bank. Tennessee has a winning tradition in football. Hearthside Bank has a tradition of trust when it comes to the finances of East Tennesseans and Southeastern Kentuckians. For 105 years, Hearthside Bank has been helping families reach their financial goals. They can do the same for you. Hearthside Bank, always within reach. Check out that website, hearthsidebank.com. Okay, there it is, the quarterback comparison. I swear UCLA looks like they could go on 12. I don't know what the FCS game they've got coming up later, but boy, that is a bad football team. And Nico Iamaleava doesn't have a defense to bail him out. He doesn't have a run game that helps him out. Josh, he's just exposed week in and week out.
Yeah, he looks lost. They're horrible. They're terrible on the line of scrimmage, and it's only conference games left because they play 9 conference games. So
that's right. So they've already gone through their 3 non-conference.
Yeah, they've given up the equity.
Left,
yeah, they were supposed to beat New Mexico and UNLV,
Yeah.
so it's only Big Ten games remaining.
There's a good chance they go 0-12. That's how bad they are. That's terrible. And when you look at, again, I don't want to say this every week, we may stop this. I may come in and just throw in, we're waving this one off.
The mercy rule.
That's right.
Mercy rule.
I'm giving him a standing 8 count. This is over.
If it were a title fight, yeah, somebody
Yeah.
would be trying to throw in a towel.
Yeah, but I will say this one more time. What that family did to that kid is just brutal. Just brutal. Just ruined his career.
You'd rather be dead at birth than go to UCLA.
There you go. All right, here's what I want to do. I want to rank very quickly the 5 toughest remaining games. Now YouTube's really going to hit me, thanks to you and Bob. All right. UAB, look, I only put UAB and New Mexico State on here so you would know the order of the schedule. What's your toughest remaining game?
Alabama, at Alabama.
They took care of Wisconsin yesterday. They look like they're back to normal.
Ty
Yeah, on the
Simpson
road,
has been,
Tuscaloosa. Yeah.
Simpson's been terrific his last 2 games. Alabama would be number 1.
Yes. Bad opener against Florida State, but they've bounced back. All right, number 2.
I've got Oklahoma. I think they're really good. Mateer at quarterback. Their defense is solid. They got good skilled players. I think Oklahoma's really good.
I agree. And Venables is allowing Mateer and that offensive coordinator to do their thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I would go Oklahoma. Florida's on the road, and we know about going to Gainesville, but they're going down a bad road right
I
now.
am glad we got Oklahoma at home.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
1 Alabama, 2 Oklahoma. What's 3? Because I will say this. Mississippi State, you're going down there in a couple weeks. They pulled an upset over Arizona State. They're 3-0 so far. Vanderbilt. Now, that's here, and I know we all laugh at Vanderbilt, but what they've done the last 2 weeks, going to Virginia Tech, not a great team, but still, Vandy goes on the run to a Power 4 team, whips them, goes to South Carolina, whips them. I think they're for real. Florida, as Josh says, they look like they're going nowhere, but you have to go to Gainesville.
Yeah.
What's next on this list in terms of toughest games?
I'm going to say Arkansas.
And then there's the one that I didn't mention.
Yeah, I'm
Arkansas
going
went to
Arkansas.
Oxford,
But
gave Ole Miss a game.
Yesterday they played well. They just lost.
Okay.
They lost, and they let the game get away by a few plays. A couple of plays, the quarterback made a couple of errant passes, a couple of interceptions. He makes the right pass. Those things are complete.
Okay.
Arkansas, they're driving for a winning touchdown and fumble.
Yep.
Played in that game. I think Taylor Green is an elite quarterback. And because of that, I would go Arkansas 3.
I'm surprised. Okay. I would not have gone Arkansas 3.
Josh, what do you got?
I would go Florida just because it's been 22 years since Tennessee has won in Gainesville. Now, I might get to November and Florida's done for the year, and I have a different opinion, but Tennessee also could be playing in Gainesville trying to go to the playoff, and the pressure builds. So I would go Florida there.
What are we doing? Okay, who's 4? Do we
I
all
had
agree?
Florida 4.
I have Florida 4.
Okay. I'm glad we did this because I would not have put Arkansas 3rd. All right, and who's 5th between Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, or do you go at Kentucky? They look awful.
Want me to go? I'll go. I'm say Vandy because their quarterback just talks a lot. And I think, he's talking those guys into some confidence, And yesterday's game was a big win in South Carolina. It's big to win out there.
I think Vandy is better than Mississippi State. Mississippi State is kind of that next test. It's on the road. We saw last year at Arkansas. This year, Mississippi State's a little bit better. They already beat Arizona State. So can Tennessee make sure it's dialed in on the road and play well in what's probably a night game? I would go Mississippi State.
So we got a Vandy, we got a Mississippi State. Jimmy, break it.
I'm hesitant on this one.
You're going Arkansas 3rd and 5th.
Well, we haven't talked about New Mexico
Yeah.
State yet. I'm going to go Vanderbilt. What they did against South Carolina, and I respect what Mississippi State did. They beat a playoff team in Arizona State.
And I also know that offense is an equalizer when it's run.
It is, and I've been impressed with what they've done. But what Vanderbilt did at South Carolina trumps that a little
They
bit.
don't cut
Their
their
defense looked good.
Yeah.
Mississippi State don't cut their grass. You're going to be out there playing in 4-inch heat grass, baby. You
Well,
know,
you got cowbells too.
bling, 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 bling.
Well, that's what they're for. The cows go down and eat that grass. That's how they keep it down. All right. When we come back, did stock prices for Josh Heupel rise or fall yesterday? In other words, if guys aren't given the opportunity to hold, you either have to buy more stock or sell some of the stock you've got in Josh Heupel. What do you do? And do I already know the answer to this based on the rest of the show? We'll talk about that with the VFLs next. Come on back. Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by, well, appropriately enough, Al Wilson's Hard Hitting Tea. Hey, folks, Al has been very much involved in the crafting of his own alcoholic tea with a refreshing taste and a strong finish. Check out hardhittingtea.com. As always, please drink responsibly. But Al, let me ask you this. I'll let you do your own plug for this here. You can just look at the camera over there. How much have you been involved in this? You did get absolutely involved in this from the start. This is not just putting your name on something.
No question, no question. I've been every step of the way. It's really a new passion for me. It's something I never even thought I would be doing, but I've really become to love it, and I'm just loving that the fans are getting some good taste, some good flavors, and I'm excited about it. But I've been there since step one. Absolutely.
Absolutely. There we go. Al Wilson's Hard Hitting Tea, hardhittingtea.com to learn more. You just saw those guys sitting over there. We just called an audible. We were going to ask going into the show if you had to buy stock or sell stock, no holding the stock, no Cavalarising the question, one or the other, what would you do? I think it's pretty clear all these guys would buy more stock in Josh Heupel. So my question to them then, and I'll let Will start it, do you feel that he is evolving as a coach? Do you continue to think that he is growing as a head coach?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I have to say it from this. We looked at a different Josh Heupel last year, right? You saw a guy that had a better defense that all of a sudden said, my offense may have a little more struggles. And what did he do? He played time of possession, control the ball, let my defense go out there and win. This year, hey, defense may be not as strong as I am right now on offense. What am I doing? But then I'm also looking at different formations, things I'm trying. So I just look at him as he's using the talent he has and what he thinks are the keys, and he continues to figure out best ways to put them and maximize them. I don't know about you, Al, but I think he is evolving.
I do as well. I definitely feel as if he understands, like you said, defensively, we're not as good as we were last year. So offensively, we were able to put some more points on the board. So he's definitely evolving as a coach. He understands his personnel, and he knows they can get things done. So no question Josh is evolving. From a talent standpoint, we know we're getting better in that aspect as well. So that's going to take us to that next level. So no question he's evolving for sure.
Man, one of the things I pointed out last week was the fact that the game I saw Georgia struggle with the most outside of Notre Dame was Georgia Tech. And the reason was they did a great job of formation changes, shifts, moving the quarterback around. That kind of got Georgia's defense kind of flustered. Hey, made Kirby Smart use a couple timeouts. And I saw the same thing this past weekend. Josh Heupel did a great job of moving guys around, creating mismatches, going tempo, getting those guys flustered. And so I would say, yes, he's definitely growing as a coach because he learned, I saw that these guys struggled with that last year. They've been kind of having outnumbered the last couple of years. I'm going to give them some things to make them think about.
Right. And as an offensive coach, it's predicated on your quarterback play. If you're an offensive coach and your quarterback plays well, it just gives you more options. So I feel as if he's evolving. And then when you have a good quarterback like Aguilar that's played a lot of football, it looks like he's been in our system for a long time, it just makes it opens up the playbook a lot more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
When you're confident that guy knows what he's doing, and you can put him out there in situations and give him, and it's not going to all be drawn up on the board like you thought it was, because the defense has a choice too.
Correct.
But when you see him react and not make huge mistakes in that, I definitely think it gives you confidence.
I'm going to say this too. Man, I feel like Josh Heupel's got a chip on his shoulder. That whole Nico situation that went down, the media guys coming in, you heard everybody come in the pregame show and say, I think Tennessee's screwed. Man, he's a competitor. He's a former college football player that won a national championship. Right. And so I think we've seen that competitiveness come out as far as his play calling and challenging these defenses in the SEC to say, hey, I'm still a guy.
Yes.
So, John, I think the big answer is I think there's more to come. I think we're continuing to see involvement and growth, and I think that's a good thing. I think you're going to see a coach that's coming up. And so I think there are going to be some downs and some mistakes, but overall, I think we see good things.
All right, and let me go back to that wide shot just for a second. I think it's so cool. We put the picture of Al Wilson on the set. Now we've got him sitting in front of it. I'm going to have to get a medium involved and do a seance to get Bob Neyland in front of his photo, but still, we'll work on Chris Lofton at some point, thanks to those guys. I did want to say this. I know that there are people who are looking at you're 0-5 against Georgia. It's a bottom line business. When's this guy going to beat Georgia? And I would simply say Jim Harbaugh lost his first 5 games against Ohio State, and I'm amazed he survived that, having lived in that area and knowing that rivalry, but he did survive it. He won his last 3 against Ohio State and won a national championship. As 2 of the guys at that table might remember, we can show Al and Will over there, Philip Fulmer, when he was named head coach at Tennessee, he lost his first 5 games against Florida. And then, Al, you might remember the 1998 game. You had a pretty decent night that night. Tennessee and Philip Fulmer finally get off the schneid against Florida, win a national championship. So I wouldn't look at it and say, over 5, move on. We've got to find somebody different. He can't get it done. Jury's still out. You're getting a little closer, I thought yesterday, if not for a missed kick or a play here, play there, you win that game. So anyway, just a note from me about Josh Heupel. When we come back, will they or won't they about UAB? We've also got a Cavalaris line coming up for UAB. Cavalaris line, man, the casino took a beating this week. We'll see how Chuck looks. Come on back. Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. It's football time in Tennessee, obviously. To celebrate, Safety Systems is offering any new customers 90 free days of monitoring on one of their security systems. That is 3 months free. Call Safety Systems this week. There are signs like the one you see right there on businesses all over East Tennessee. There are signs like that in yards all over East Tennessee because people believe in their security systems. And you could get 3 free months of monitoring. That's unbelievable. VFL J.J. Surlis and his team will take good care of you. Call them this week, safetysystems.com. Okay, we've got 4 questions. We got 5 VFLs. We're actually seating them over there today. That's pretty good. So we're going to play a little will they or won't they. Pay attention to this first one now, Chuck, because under Josh Heupel, because these guys are going to answer it, it may change your line that's coming up next. Okay. Under Josh Heupel, Tennessee has lost to Georgia 5 times. After the previous 4 losses, Tennessee has rebounded to score 48, 56, 60, and 66 points the next week. Gentlemen, VFLs, will Tennessee score 58 or more against UAB on Saturday? Ooh, we got 1 no. All right. Well, I've been picking on Will for being negative. What about you there, Rain Cloud Stoll? What's up?
I was just channeling my inner Will.
Why you say no?
Just a little bit of a hangover, I think. I think there'll just be a little bit of disappointment. They got to bounce back from that.
Okay. So he doesn't think they'll get to 58. Josh, will they get to 58?
Well, read those numbers off to me again.
48, 56, 60, and 66.
Okay, I can do the math. I'll say yes. 60 plus. They'll go for it.
58. So only Stoll is negative. Okay. Last year after the Georgia loss, Tennessee ran for 241 yards against UTEP. Will the Vols rush for at least 250 versus UAB next Saturday? Yes. Stoll, no again. Man, is this still the hangover answer in your opinion?
Yeah.
Jimmy Himes, do they run for 250 against UAB?
Yes, and then they'll celebrate by drinking Al Wilson's tea.
Hard-hitting man.
That's Stoll's hangover.
I think they'll do it because they didn't run like crazy this week, and I think Heupel's going to take that out on UAB.
Yeah, and I think they'll break some long runs.
All right. Next question from my VFLs. Joey Aguilar, get this. It's only 3 games in, but still. Joey Aguilar is on pace to throw for 36 touchdowns in a 12-game regular season. Peyton Manning holds the school record with 36 touchdown passes in a 12-game season in 1997. Will Joey Aguilar tie or break Manning's record of 36 touchdown passes this year? Wow, we got a couple of Whoa, Stoll, see. He's just trying to get on the good side again. I don't believe Stoll's. All right, we got two guys say yes, 3 say yes. Alan Sterling, why yes?
I say yes because, I think he will because we're just throwing the ball more now.
Right.
We're just throwing the ball more now, and we're letting that thing fly. So this offense is totally different than the offense Peyton ran. It's more wide open. He had more opportunities to throw more touchdowns.
I'm starting to believe in the receivers, too, after what I saw yesterday. Let me get the nose from Marlon and Will. Why?
It's just a lot, man. I mean, just saying that you're going to break the record. I mean, 2-3 games into the season, it's a long ways to go.
Just some guy named Peyton. Okay. What do you think, Marlon? Why
I would say we're going to get back to the run game.
Okay.
Get back to what we do.
All right. I'm not going to ask Mike. Well, you've answered the last 2. Bob, will he break or tie Peyton Manning's record of 36?
He will not. And I agree with Marlon. I think when they've got the opportunity, they will run the ball more in some of the games where he could probably run those numbers up.
Okay. Last one, we got to be quick. Al Wilson and UAB coach Trent Dilfer played in the NFL at the same time. Did Al Wilson ever sack Blazers head coach Trent Dilfer? Let's see what the other VFLs say. Don't weigh in here, Al. All right, we got Stoll's just missed. Negative. Okay. Al Wilson?
I have no idea.
AI says you did not.
I do not know.
The Google search and AI says you did not.
So did you intercept him? Did you intercept him?
But here's your question,
No,
Chuck.
I did.
Here's your question, Chuck. College national title and 2 NFL All-Pro seasons and 1 Pro Bowl, or winning a Super Bowl. What's the better career? That's Dilfer versus Wilson. So you better answer national championship, 2 Pro Bowls, 5 Pro Bowls.
Al Wilson.
Yeah. Dilfer didn't win that Super Bowl. He just drove in the passenger seat. All right. Thanks to those guys. When we come back, let's do the Cavalaris line. It's got to be a quick one because we've been having too much fun here today. We got the line for UAB and our picks coming up next. Welcome back into the Sports Source. This is our final segment. It's brought to you by Games and Things. Folks, when it comes to home theater seats, this is where I've gone. I have gotten 2 pairs over the last 20 years at Games and Things. Love both pairs of chairs. When I go back and get more, it will be Games and Things. You should too. Check out their showroom at the corner of Lovell Road and Kingston Pike. You will be blown away by the selection of home theater seats at Games and Things. Chuck, I'm sorry to put you in it, but we've only got a few seconds to do our picks. Here's our standings. Ollie, Bob, Daniel, John, Sterling, Josh, Marlon, Mike, all winners last week. That's bad news for the casino. The casino lost $1,000 last week, and here's how Chuck took it. Oh, man. Can you spare a dime? That's tough. Okay, Chuck, need a quick pick from you, my friend.
And leave 9 cents change, right, sir? Hey, how about this? The Blazers of UAB beat Akron yesterday, 31-28. They got a quarterback named Ketna, a coach named Dilfer. I got them scoring some points. I'm going to set the line at 44.5.
Okay, 44.5 is your line. We got to be quick here. So let's go in order from our leader. Ollie's not here. I'll get his pick later. Bob Hodge.
100 on Tennessee.
100 on UT. Daniel, I'll get his later. I will do 200 on UT and regret it. Sterling.
Let's go 200 UT, baby.
200
We're doing a deal.
on UT. Josh.
No split yet. I will go 100 on UT.
You're going to lose money or make money next week. Marlon.
I got to jump Daniel. I'm going to go 200 on Tennessee.
Okay. Mike Stoll.
200 Tennessee.
Wow.
Jimmy.
100 UAB.
Oh, he's going to continue to go.
Yeah.
Fade the public. All right, Will Overstreet.
I'm going to go opposite of Jimmy since we've been in the same business. I'll go 100 on UT.
That's a wise choice, my man.
Did you go 100 UT?
100 UT.
Okay, what are you doing, Al?
Because I won't be here next week.
That's right.
All in, baby.
All in. All right. Yes, sir. Hey, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks to, and I want to thank our media guys. You guys did a few fewer segments this week, and I appreciate that, coming all the way over here and doing that, because we wanted to bring in Al Wilson. It's rare for you to do these media appearances. I feel honored that you chose to do this one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck with the hard-hitting tea. I think that's a fantastic venture, and I hope people out there will try it.
Right.
And it's available grocery stores.
Yes.
It's available gas station, anywhere.
Absolutely.
I want to buy something I don't drink.
So he says.
Something I do drink.
Gentlemen, thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Chuck, sorry you got shortchanged, but
all
at least
right.
we got the AI face of you, and that was well worth the laughs. All right, next week, you can join us for the Sports Source Saturday kickoff. That will be 11 a.m. right here on WATE. You can catch that next Saturday. Be sure to check out the Sports Source Digital Network Tuesday, because on Monday nights we do a little show called The Final Word, and that'll be Marlon Walls, Ollie Lane, and Will Overstreet and me. So we will see you next week. Thank you.